record on this. Okay. Good morning. All right. My name is Trisha Branco-Foley. I'm the executive director of Handmade Arcade. Welcome to the Handmade Arcade Youth Cohort. This is a big cohort. This is the biggest one we've had in a while, obviously, because we all went through that delightful time called the pandemic. We're excited to be back in person. I'm super excited to see all your young and creative kids. We've had over 40 applicants this year, which is the most. Thank you. So let me just give you a little heads up. I'm not always this crazy. I had a night market last night, and I think I had about 3 or 4 hours sleep. Get my car worked out in Market Square, and I had to and they were like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm literally in the middle of Market Square because I had to pull my car in to like pack the Handmade. So and then I had to get out at 7 to my. So I had involved in Handmade Arcade since 2006. Handmade Arcade was just a little background, so you know what you're heading into. We were founded in 2004 as a place for indie crafts to sell their wares. Back in 2004, there was no Etsy, there was nothing like that at all. And some very, very innovative artists saw this trend coming. I was not part of the original group. They found Handmade Arcade. We had our first couple shows here at Junction, which is why we have meetings here, because we still partner with them. We have a spring show here. We're very closely knit with the recycle and used community here in Pittsburgh. So from 2004 until 2007, we had small shows here. From 2007 to 2009, we did them at the Plant Armory. And then in 2011, we moved to the convention. And that's when we started having makers, and it sort of grew into this huge place of a holiday market. We started as a small nonprofit, or I'm sorry, small volunteer run LLC that never made any money. We just did it. I joined that organization in 2006 as a set of the makers and artists, and then I joined as a volunteer in 2010, and then I became the executive director when we became a nonprofit in 2015. When we did, I started the transition from a volunteer run LLC to the nonprofit organization we are today. So I know, like, I am the only employee. I have really, really dedicated volunteers. I stand here every time who are very dedicated to the community. I have about six volunteers. Every now and then we get grants back from KDG, which is really exciting. And we have a marketing consultant who my game test with you guys, because we're going to make a specific press release this year, and we're going to sponsorate you on the Saturday Life Brigade radio program if we can, and we're going to try to get some articles in Pittsburgh and some things like that. So I'm just going to give you a quick little bit about Handmade Arcade. This is our mission and our vision and what we value, and we put together one big holiday event. Has anybody here been to Handmade Arcade? So you guys have been great. That's great. That's really helpful because you know how big it is and how it can be. So we slide. So okay. So Handmade Arcade is a nonprofit. We believe in the power of making things by hand. We serve the local maker and craft community, and we developed this youth maker program. In 2011, we started inviting youth makers from Kappa to come to Handmade Arcade through this. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Artists and Resources, or if any of you go to Kappa. Artists and Resources is a screen printing place in the North Hills, or the North Side, and they work with students from Kappa. So we've had students at the event pretty much always, but 2011 we really started to hone in on it. Then we started to apply for money for it, so that we could actually support individual groups. So yes. I'm sorry, what's the name of that place? Artist Image Resource. Thursday night, they used to, pre-pandemic, you're a screen printer, right? You make the clothes, right? Also, little known fact, I'm going to remember random things about you that you're going to be like, oh, that was me. I can't remember if I, made dinner yesterday, but I can remember random facts. It's like my thing. I can remember random facts about chapters that are kind of really creepy. They have a great program for street printers. So it's a really great resource. And so So we got a large grant this year from the Greater Foundation, so we can support you better. This is the best support we've ever been able to give cheese makers. We have a hired coordinator, Val Snyder, who unfortunately can't be here today because she's in her best friend's wedding in Seattle today. So this all sort of happened. And then I didn't want to wait to meet with you guys because it's fast, like it's a quick turnaround into handing it. So that's me. I was a maker, I was a graphic designer for 20 years. I used to do websites, I used to do print design. Now I run a nonprofit. I always worked in nonprofits, so that's always been my path. And so now when I run a nonprofit and all sorts of things I never thought I would understand, like how to make a budget and things like that. Which is really helpful because when you run a small business, if you continue to become a business entrepreneur, you'll go into one and track what you spent and what you put into your business, what you're paying yourself. That's the important part. So that is me in a nutshell. I'm gonna ask Sam to do a little quick intro. I'm gonna ask you all to introduce yourself and just tell each other what you make and what you do, where you're school, maybe how old you are. And I'm 48, that's so you don't weird about or say how old you are. I went to Junction High School, Ohio University, Chatham College, and Duquesne University. So there's a lot going on there.
I'm Samantha Bauer. I have been a maker since about 2004.
I like when you
Was that? Tell me, am I making I started into jewelry when I made necklaces for the bridesmaids and for wedding. And then after all the wedding and creating some jewelry, I really kind of like doing that. And I just kept going. I started with Handmade. My first show was the first Convention Center Holiday Show in 2011. And then I've done 12 now, I think. Expanded booths and being part of the volunteer committee. It just keeps growing. Now my husband's a DJ. We kind of just enjoyed ourselves and sending it. On the side, I worked for another one called the Arts Institute. They located in Carnegie. I was artist manager here, but worked there on and off. So we new artists, bringing new inventory.
It sounds like a wealth of information for, and so I think we're going to hire you to be a mentor. Wealth of information for pricing, display stuff, like odds and ends, like findings and things like that, like sourcing. Yeah, she's real helpful.
I didn't take this too seriously until I think 2016, 2017. I talked to Trisha about changing my business name and getting a new logo, and that's when Lester was fully formed. And now I quit my other side job and I'm in wholesaling full time. I am in 48 states.
Sure face.
Stupid.
Wow.
And
Wow.
And then in Europe, so I'm still on board all over. It's a lot of fun. And Handmade is still the best factory day of the year. Honestly, it's so exciting and it's really fun. And people come and love all the things you can look at just go on and see all your fun. And I'm 42.
Okay, you don't have any actually.
That's fine. I'm Aquarius. Okay, I'm just 13. He's not factory. Maybe.
But
He's a coder again.
Can you touch this a little bit louder?
My name is I'm 16. Yeah. Yeah. Your mom is
Who's your mom?
a little bit.
Oh, but okay, cool. Oh, this is great. I expectations for you. It's like, be quiet up there. Go ahead. I like that you stood up. I like that. I like the dedication. I like it. I'm into it. Oh, okay. Uh-huh. We partner with Lincoln Park. Back Hat Press is always at our event. So we've had them at our event for years. They always do a hands-on activity and then they always have a table there. That's great. That's a great place. And we really liked your designs in the random fact thing that I'm going to remember. And we want to encourage you to make more designs because your art is really cool. And you only showed us a couple things, so we want you to come up with some more stuff. All right, great, fantastic, good news. Well done. Cool. So you both go to City Bridges? Do you know each other? Are you friends? Friends? Frenemies? Awesome. Awesome. Great. Well, if you want, we can place your tables next to each other, unless you're like. Are you a student from Meshworks? Great, great. That's great. You just say you can't say? She's my daughter. She's a freshman. Are you a freshman? Shut up. I tried to get this, but she was like busy. All right, keep going. You make beautiful. Yes. Awesome. So, what school are you in? Okay, she's in the design school. She's like working for the fashion magazine. Which I'm having fun. Cool. I'll have to introduce you. She'll be at Handmade Arcade this year. All right, I just tried to change the audio so that the folks outside who are zooming in can hear. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me better?
I can hear you.
Can you guys hear me? Taylor, do you want to do, let me see, let me see if I can screen share this. Would you like to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Taylor Sheely. Are we introducing like our business name too?
Yeah. You're
Okay.
you're not being broadcast on this. We have a screen up there, but I can see you. So.
Okay. My name is Taylor. I'm the owner of Boss Girl Collection LLC. It's a beauty and cosmetics, and I recently just started like blinging out jean jackets and creating clothing. So.
Awesome. Your stuff is very cool. I really love I love your Boss Girl.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Veronica, can you unmute and just introduce yourself real quick?
Yes. Hello, I'm Veronica Hartlich. I'm 13. I've been making stuff for my whole life, and I think I started sewing maybe when I was 5.
Wow.
Yeah. And I go to the Environmental Charter Middle School.
Okay, cool. Can you hear better? I changed the speaker. Does it sound better to you guys?
We put in the chat, we can hear you when you're next to the computer, but we
Okay,
can't.
we
hear
just did an intro of all the students, so that it was hard to hear, because so we're gonna, the rest of it's gonna pretty much just be me giving a presentation. Okay, cool. All right, nice to meet everyone. I think we're gonna move into what it means. So here's the holiday market. It's every December. So this year, if you've been in the past, you've gone up the steps and you've gone to the left. This year, we're going to the right. We're in the biggest hall of the convention center, which doesn't mean I'm gonna pack it full of vendors. We accepted 200 vendors just a few weeks ago. So the way you get into Handmade Arcade as an adult or as like a professional vendor, you apply, we have a jury system, 5 folks look at your application. Half of them are members of our advisory committee who are like very well, like really understand what it means to sell a Handmade Arcade, and the other half are guest jurors from the arts community. We had someone from the Pittsburgh Glass Center this year. We had a couple of makers do it this year. So it's always different. So we always get different opinions. And then I look at every application for anomalies. For sometimes guest jurors will not understand a product and vote it down. And because it's really hard to tell unless you really know what's going on. Sometimes with just pictures alone. So we'll have 200 makers approximately. We're gonna have 24 youth makers. So there's 10 of you guys in the cohort. There are 4 youth makers who are coming back who were part of the program last year who applied, but they've already gone through this program. So we're just giving them the space and support differently than we're giving you. And then we have 10 tables of entrepreneurial classrooms that come in through an organization called Real. This is where my speaking time in my childhood gets me. Real World Scholars and 4 classrooms. So they are classrooms in elementary from kindergarten up to 10th, 12th grade, and they create a product and they have these entrepreneurial classrooms. And it's like a low lift for me. It's a high impact for youth makers because I work with their coordinator. She brings the classrooms in, they come in with teachers, and about 300 kids cycle in and out throughout the day selling it there. You guys will be kind of separate from them, so you won't be in that mix, but close enough that you'll all be put together in what we call the Youth Maker Alley, which is so this is the floor of the convention center. The entrance is over here, and the youth makers are usually right behind where the Handmade Arcade welcome table is. So people will come into the event, see the welcome table, ask us questions, and they start going up and down the aisle. And the first aisle are usually sponsors or higher level. Bigger booths, the second round, and you go to the third day of road, and it's a really it's like a high traffic spot because that's most people start. It's when you start. And people love our youth maker program. They love youth makers. They love that you're doing this. They want to support you. Our audience are super connected to the arts community, to the handmade, local arts. They understand that spending $50 with a local artist or a handmade gift is so much more impactful and important than spending $50 at Target for the holidays. So the people who come to our event are already bought into the ethos of this, and they get it, and they come to buy, and they come with a list of folks they want to get gifts for. So this is another opportunity that I really want you to take. Not everybody does it. Over the pandemic, we built a virtual marketplace. We got $110,000 from the Arts and Mellon Foundation in a matter of 3.5 months. We built this immersive virtual marketplace. We got national notice nationally in the creative community, craft community for it. We're converting it this year from a marketplace to a catalog because nobody's buying anymore online the way they were. They want to come to Handmade Arcade. So everyone will have the opportunity in a login to set up a page, and we'll have a Zoom meeting about it, and I'll share my screen and show you how to do it. You basically will have, you'll have the page is, it's just basically you guys are young, you don't know the excitement of getting the toy catalog in the mail when you were little. and you would flip through the 20 catalog and you would mark the pages and so you would be at Target used to spend one for a while. Oh, was there? Okay. I mean, I'm forgotten my kid's childhood. I don't remember like 2004 to 2010 with my kids, so maybe there was. So great. So you'd circle it with a marker and you'd give it to your grandparents or your aunts and uncles. So this is basically like our version of that. Like you're gonna have a page, you'll be able to put like your logo or your a picture of like you don't have a logo, that's totally fine. Don't worry about that. You could like they'll be like it's based kind of like a social media profile icon. You can put your business name, how to get in touch with you, like if you've got like social media accounts, you have a website, and then there'll be a slideshow. And you can put up 1 to 6 slides of your products to like get people to know you so they can be like, oh, I want to go see this table. And then you'll be categorized. It'll be like 7 categories of youth makers. So people can check out who the youth makers are going to be ahead of time. We're going to open it up the week before the event so people can pre-shop the event. Now, I can't force you to do this. I can't like make you do it because like I don't have the capacity and I just can't bring myself to care enough to get worked up about it because there's so many details to running the tomato chain. But if you don't take the opportunity, you're missing. It's a big miss. It's like a misfire big time. So, and it's gonna, yes, it's gonna stay open. I'm gonna try to change the coding. My husband's a programmer and poor man had to take a day off yesterday to help me do a market, has to fix my website for me. I can't afford to pay the people to build the website for us anymore, but he knows how to program and he makes the same kinds of websites. So I'm gonna try to get him to fix this so it can just stay open indefinitely. So if somebody wants to go back and look if he was at the 2022 holiday market, they can find it.
There are always people who are keeping themselves updated.
Yeah.
Buy from you then, or came back to you and were sold out of what they wanted, so they come and find it.
Yeah, it's true. Like you a lot. Like you may be like, oh, I'm bothered that we thought that person was gonna buy this, and you'll realize like a week later they'll come and contact you because they're like also bummed if they didn't buy it, and you'll get a lot of. You hopefully will get post-event sales if you have that. Okay, so let's talk about the program itself. I have to take a look. I sent it to you guys late. Yes, for Sept. Right. So if you didn't print it out, you didn't fill it out, that's no big deal. If you did, now it's time to turn it in. If you didn't, I have it here, you can fill it out now. It's basically just like, it's a parent and consent form, which you don't need to fill out. If you are over 18, you don't need to have your parents' consent unless you're like, really want to take one of each. You can fill it out on your own. And it's like a commitment form saying like, this is what we expect of you. This is what you can expect from us. We want to hold you accountable, but we want you to hold us accountable. We're here to help you. So I think the most important thing for this, if I can get anything across to you today, the most important thing is that if you feel like you need help, or this is stressing you out, or you're feeling underwater, or you're like, when you think about Handmade Arcade. Okay. For help. Like that is so helpful and kind, and we want you to succeed. We've had a couple of instances where we've had youth makers not reach out, not tell us they were struggling, and then just not show up at the event. And it's like, and then the mother is like, and then I'm worried about them all day long. So like, at any time, if you're like, look, I'm going to be there, but I'm going to have half the amount of inventory that I thought. Like, you can't like get it done. Just like my daughter texted me, Mom, I'm putting the volleyball team. And I said, look, I did not every panic attack this week. I'm just going to treat volleyball, band, the engineering team, and they're all CP classes. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Meant to be fun. We wanted to give you a piece of like what being more than a
yes
is. So if you're freaking out, please
talk to us.
Really confidentially would not.
Sam is great. She's great for this because she's been a vendor. Val has been a vendor for years. She's really, really great. She wants to actually start doing more maker education. She works for the University of Pittsburgh. Another community member is named Michelle. She has owned a store. She is really great. Like and she had a store that's closed. Now she works for the University of Pittsburgh. Like, we want you to succeed. So however we can help you, please ask. There's like, no, just don't call my cell phone after 9 p.m. That's the only rule I have. So the milestones, we've got some, like, so we've got goals for you, you've got goals for you, we've got goals for ourselves. So the milestones are developed to make sure you stay on track. First is the paperwork. So if you didn't fill it out now, or get it to me. And if you don't have a scanner and you take it home and you fill it out, just take a picture of it and email it or text it to them. The second thing is we're going to create some goals. We're going to talk about product development. We're going to ask you guys to create an inventory calendar, and this is all to help you with your time management. So we're going to send to you basically 2 months worth of just a blank calendar. And this is one of the makers last year sent this back to us. And so what we ask you to do is, I think this was a soap. I can't remember what maker this is, but you can see that they put, like, look, they put their birthday on there, they put their favorite college appointment on there, they're getting a haircut, and these were the things they made. I think they made little jewelry, like little playing new things. That's what will make sense with it. So, you know, you just sort of like put a goal. I always say to makers, because I always do new maker meetings, and I do a lot of webinars or meetings now with makers. I say who are going into Handmade or Cake, like, think about what you want. Like, think about, is it I want to sell 30 of these shirts? Is it I want to make this much money? Like, think about what you want to get out of the event. Like, really think about that, and then work backwards. And then think, okay, if I want to sell 25 t-shirts, first I need to have 25. Right, so like work backwards. First, I have to order the t-shirts, and then so you sort of like plan out your inventory that way. So your first step is to think about what it is that you make. Think about how much you want to have at the event. Set goals, and then realistically plan it out. Like with your life events, like I'm in marching band. I know I will never be able to work on a Friday night on my stuff. Or I'm on the cross country team. I know I have meets every Saturday from now until the end of October, like something like that. And so you know when you can work on it. If you wait until Thanksgiving break to do this, you will be calling me crying. You will be like, Trisha, I'm gonna only have 4 things, because you'll be so stressed out. Believe me, I used to sell, and for years I would have a table while trying to run it. I don't sell anymore because I don't wait. It was awful. I didn't see everything. The test for me, being a terrible mother during my middle season, is when I say to my children, "What do you want for dinner?" And they say steak, because that means they like. That means I'm working too much. That's kind of when I stopped selling. I was like, wow, I've been neglecting like everything. Including myself, and I felt paranoid down there, like, so, you know, you have to like think about that. So we're gonna give you guys a budget. Well, you all are gonna get $500. We're not gonna give it to you, like, I'm not gonna give you $500. We did that 1 year. We didn't give it cash. We gave makers $500 gift credit cards, and these are credit cards, and we asked them to give us receipts so we knew what they purchased. And it's just like, I don't know what happened. Like, some folks did it, some folks didn't. I don't know what happened. So we came up with a new system where we're going to do this. Let me find it. I came up with this new system in 2019, which worked a lot better for you guys, for makers. So you're gonna get this material orders form. I think I emailed it to you already. I have no memory of last week. When I do a show, I often forget like what else happened. So it's basically like a pre-calculated spreadsheet. So what you do is like, you're gonna buy blanks to screen print on. So you know you want to get, you know, like 20 blank sweatshirts, 30, you want to like mix up the sizes, whatever. You're gonna do research, you're gonna fill. That's not sharing. Why can't I do things that No. Okay, so this is the way it works is it's a spreadsheet. You can't really see, but like you'll type in the item name and the quantity. So like, let's say you want to get 12 of those, the unit price is $29. It should self-populate. Yeah, so look, oh gosh, that's already $348. So it comes down here and then it'll add in, it should add in tax and shipping and other, and then you'll know, okay, this is what I spent. So like, you can like, you've got to shop around, you've got to look for deals, you've got to like source things, try and get stuff. If you find stuff you want to go to Joanne Fabrics and you want to go to Michael and you want to physically get fabric cut and all of that stuff, and you like figure out what it's going to cost, I'll buy you a gift card. Like I'll send you a 25 to 100, whatever, gift card to Joanne, and you go and buy what you want. But for the most part, we'll get things shipped directly to you. That's why you put at the top. You'll put your name, your company name, and your address up here, and then you'll send this to Val, and she'll take a look at it, and she'll click through it, and she will make sure you're getting the best price. Because one of the things that you won't know, that we will know, are places where you can get better deals. Pretty much the same thing. Or if we can get like wholesale prices or things like that. So that's like one of those things. So this is like one of the most important things about being a maker is pricing your items. Who in here is screen printing? Are you screen printing? So I have a bunch of blank totes and t-shirts from a screen printer went out of business, and I took a bunch of their inventory, which I can give to you guys. We can split it up because I can bring it to the October meeting. Also, if you guys want to send me an email before the October meeting saying don't forget to bring them. I have to go to our store too and get it. I'll bring it, and then you guys can go through and split it up or take it if you want, and then that's like another way to save money. And then whatever kind of just bring them. Yeah, so like I'm gonna bring some stuff like to the next meeting. You guys can go through and take what you need. You can't. And another thing that I just found out's going to happen, the Art Smiths, the store that Sandy's work for, is scaling down their store. They're becoming more of an art gallery education center, less of a sales place. So I'm going to go over to Kate's into the basement, and I'm going to take a lot of display stuff that we have and then you guys can use. So before you like use your $500 to buy display items, talk to me because I may already have it and you can use it that day. And the thing about display items is when you're first starting out, is it's nice to be able to play around and see what you like before you invest in it, because it can get costly quick. So let me go back to my presentation because I do talk about that. Okay, so we're going back to the milestones. So okay, so let's make sure this is a youth maker. No. I had an ongoing text with my brother and my two friends about Stephen X. That's what that was about. All right, so these are the things you'll need to fill out, and we'll send an email. That will be in touch next week, and she'll talk more about the milestones, and we'll get you everything you need for those, and we'll give you deadlines. So it's best to like follow the deadlines, work with our deadline, and that's gonna like just help you keep on this like this fast moving train into Handmade Arcade, because it is one September hit, it is a fast moving train. All right, payments. So this is something we want to make sure that you guys know and you understand. Now, some of you are here with guardians, parents, some of you are not. We don't know what your situation is. We want to help you as much as we can. If you are under 18, you have to have an adult help you attach, if you want to take credit cards to a Square Reader or a payment processor. You cannot do it on your phone. So if you don't have a support and you do not need to raise your hand at any time and talk about this with us, Val's going to reach out to everybody individually to talk to you about your cash payments. But if you need help with that, we will help you with that. We will make sure you can take a credit card that day. We will make sure your inventory is, but you'll use the Handmade Arcade credit card account. You need to get us your inventory by the deadline so we can get it loaded in. We'll give you a Square Reader. And then when the event's all said and done and the credit, everything's been processed, we will send you a check less the fees of what was purchased from you. So like if somebody buys something for like $20 from you handing their pay, credit card processing fees is like a certain percent, so it would, I don't know. So you get like, say, like 18, 15. So we'll write you a report, we'll send you a report with the check saying exactly what you sold and what you get. So we want to make sure you have to have to do well the ability to take credit cards. Like most people don't carry cash anymore. But you want to have cash too, because some people do carry cash, or like parents give their kids money and like go buy what you want. So we recommend having a cash drawer with change in it. When I talk about cash drawer, I'm just talking, it's not like a physical drawer, I'm just talking about like, you want to have like 1s, 5s, and 10s to make change to people. And we always have, we have a box that we keep our money in at the welcome table. When I was in a different, and I keep it on my person, so it's like in the pocket, so that way you don't like, so if you like have your box there and go talk to somebody, you don't like, as much as I want to say the world's a lovely place, it's not. Somebody would give you money and it gets crowded. So I always recommend keep your money like down low or on your person when you're doing that. And then if you have cash out, like I Venmo, right? I don't know how to do anything else. Like somebody was like, "Dude, that." But like, if you have the ability and the smarts, and you're also young and technologically advanced, just do stuff like have a QR code. You can have people pay you with QR codes at your table. A lot of vendors do that now. It's really easy. It's really smart. I don't know. Yeah, Venmo makes one for you. It's not hard to do. So there's that. So if you need our help, Val's gonna again reach out to you and talk to you all individually about that. And if you need help with, we'll give you change for your cash flow that day, and we'll help you with the credit card. If you don't need help, great. But if you have questions, that's like Val will be able to answer any of your questions for that. Okay, so let's talk about the event itself. So I don't know what your schedules are like, but if you are able to load in on Friday, that is easier because we have access to the loading dock and we have teamsters to help us, and you will be able to drive your car directly to your booth if you can get there before 4 o'clock. If you cannot, which is unlikely because many of you are students, that is totally fine. You can do one of two things. You can load in Friday after school. You can come to the convention center when you come through, and I'll send Max that will explain this better. You can like come through the tunnel, pull up to the side, unload your stuff on the sidewalk, and they like with a cart, or we have a cart. You can come up and get a cart from us, and you just bring it into the convention center through the front door, and then you can come in and set your booth up that way. And then to go to park your car, don't leave it down there for you'll get a ticket. Or you can do that Friday anytime from 4 o'clock until the end of the Friday night happy hour, which is like a pre-party that we have. It's a ticketed event. It's the only fundraiser we do, which lasts until 7:30. If you cannot get there until Saturday morning, we recommend, I will be at the convention center at 6 a.m. Come at 7, because between 6 and 7, I'm like frantically resetting things for the day. So come at 7, and then you just have to have your booth set up by 9:30 when the early shopping hour starts. So I'm gonna just make sure this isn't. Hi, this is Trisha. Hello. Are you at the convention center or are you at the construction junction? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna send someone else again. Okay. Okay. Time is out. Thanks, ma'am. So that is like how we're gonna do that, and then like a little further on, we'll get into this with you, and we'll figure out when you're gonna come and how you're gonna come, and depending on what you can do, we'll work with you. Like I don't know if you can come home on Friday or be that, or if your family wants to come set up for you and you just be there on Saturday, like whatever works. Like we want this to work for you, so whatever works for you, we won't make happen. Okay, so the event itself, what to bring your best self. It's hard. It's hard to stand there and talk to people all day long. Our audience are incredibly nice, but there are jerks who will come up to you and be like, I can do that. I can do that. I'm going to go home and make that. So you know what you do? You could just buy it and be done. That's what I always used to do when people did that to me. But for the most part, people are super, super nice. But it's hard to be on your feet talking all day long. So bring your best self, get a good night's sleep, This is where self-care and not making all of your products that last week comes into play. When I was talking about don't do it the week before, this is where that comes into play. Because if you're exhausted the day of Handmade Arcade, because you've been pulling all-nighters to make stuff and go to school and do everything else that you do, you're gonna be tired and it's hard. So get a good night's sleep. It's a great day, but it's a long one. You can't do this alone. You cannot stress it enough. Do this alone. No one can. I don't care if you're a brand new maker or you've been doing this for 30 years. You cannot sell at an event from 9:30 in the morning until 7 p.m. by yourself. Bring your family, have them come in shifts, bring your friends, have your crazy kooky cousin who's loud and obnoxious come for a couple hours to sell for you. Bring in people who you trust, who you believe will help you sell your products and not make it more difficult for you that day. Did you go outside? No, I didn't. Right. You want to call? I wonder if you know, I bet they must be convention center. It is hard. Another thing, it's on the next page, but for your products, lots of them change credit card reader. We're gonna fully charge cell phone, and if you're gonna take credit cards on your phone, just bring like a portable charger if you have one. Usually, like, I don't know, when I sold in the past, my phone never, like, it doesn't wear your battery down to do a credit card. It doesn't use it's very minimal data to retain your data. It's not gonna overdraft your data. But I don't know, like, if you're like also on TikTok, you're also making, I don't know, I just like just downloaded TikTok recently because someone said, "Oh, you watch this." Man, that's a time suck. I don't know. Get everything done. TikTok's literally the worst thing that's ever happened to humanity. Like, what is going on TikTok? Do you just dance and like make TikTok? Like, I don't know. I'll never understand. What did you say?
I know.
Yeah, it's just uninstall it.
I did. Get tired of it.
Well, I don't get any notifications, but I just like, I thought it was wow. And I was like, yeah. But there's some pretty fun things. I did spend like a couple hours when they watching parents freak out. Pretty amazing, but I was like, just
install it every time you want an hour.
Yeah.
Uninstall it. Use it as a code.
Yeah, so like, why? Okay, but if you want to make a book on TikTok, totally do it. We don't have any, we don't have to, but don't be about it because your phone will die. You won't have to take credit notes. You won't be able to take credit notes, and that's what you want. You should have it signed, and we'll talk about that. And bags. You don't have to buy bags. I actually might have a bunch of bags and make in the storage center, which I'll bring you guys can take. But if you just like, if you have like a plethora of the bags in the grocery store, you can bring those. Like you can have like cute little. I mean, it's a great idea to brand your bags, but you guys are working a limited budget. I don't want you to like spend money on getting like craft bags and stamping them if you don't have to. Okay, events, they bring water, bring food. So, okay, we're gonna give you a particular, so the convention centers is cashless now, this is new, so it's all carded. So we're gonna give you all $50 to feed yourselves and get parking that day. So I'm gonna give you all $50 gift cards to Visa cards, so you can swipe it at the ticket. You want to bring a self-care bag, you know, chapstick, breath mints, like things that you think you're gonna need the day of. All right, come on in. So whatever you think you need, we have a crafty kit, like a rescue kit at the welcome table. So if like something happened to me, a zip tie or whatever, come up, ask us for safety pins, we have it. But think about like what you might need just for like your personal well-being that day and make a little like the little bag or kit. Wear comfortable shoes. You're gonna be standing for a long time on convention center floors. Well, I know it's like fun to like be cute and like that your outfit. Where I would recommend wearing sneakers. I wore my Doc Martens boots last year because they're super comfortable. Normally, I had the biggest blister on the bottom of my foot at the end of the day. It was horrendous. So I was crying. I wanted the tennis shoes. So, and wear layers. In the morning, it's cold because the doors are open. It's like the temperature fluctuates in the convention center. So I would definitely wear layers. Okay, so we're gonna talk about setup. Wait, let me just go see if this is all that's left. Yeah, perfect. Don't have a stroke. Close your eyes. Okay, so that's basically it. And I'm going to provide you with this. We're going to provide you with a checklist of things that you're going to want to bring. So the day of. And I'm recording this, so you can watch it. Or you can ask any questions if you'd like to separately. So how much space do you have? You have a 10 foot by 10 foot space with an 8.5 foot table by an 8.5 by 10 foot table. And you're gonna have 2 chairs. Do you have to use any of that? No, if you have a setup already and you don't want to use it, you don't have to use it, but it's easier for us to just give you a table. We have black tablecloths. The tablecloths are like one of those things that are kind of expensive when you go to look at them, the ones that are big enough to fit a banquet table. So we have black tablecloths that you can all use, and then you can layer other things if you want to put like different color or like a smaller tablecloth on it. But we have black ones that will come all the way to the floor that we can start with as a base. And the thing that's great about using a tablecloth that goes all the way to the floor is you can put your extra stuff underneath it for storage and nobody sees it. It keeps your room nice and neat. What are you allowed to bring? Whatever you want, but remember, you got to set it up yourself and you got to tear it down before 8 p.m. We have to be out of the convention center by like 8:30 because otherwise that's extra for the teamsters and they're expensive. So just make sure it fits in your car too. Like do it right. Like when you have all your stuff together, just test it out, make sure it fits in your car. So one of the things we're going to talk about is what you need to actually make your booth look good. So this is kind of hilarious. Like I've been doing this since 2006. This is my best friend. This was the last time I saw it. Look at how pathetic I was. The status booth that Handmade arcade. I was like, because I never had time to do anything to make it pretty. So it's just like my example of like, that's my set booth. Like, so I always like this. This is Debbie. She was one of the founders. She and her partner made, they don't make it anymore, but they used to make out of record albums, like posters and things. And so what they did to like make people understand what they're making, they made like that backdrop out of the record album. So like, it's like just kind of a way to like take what you're making and put it like, and like make it a part of your display booth. So I'm going to show you some display booths right now. This is not what you're like trying to achieve. These are professional makers who do this for a living. So like these are just ideas. And what I'm going to be able to have for you after I go to the person is a bunch of stuff that you're going to be able to maybe borrow for display. Once I know what I have, I'll share the list with you. So if you're making jewelry, you can stand and you don't want to spend your money on it, we'll have stands and things like that. And so there's a lot of stuff there. So this is just an example of like, how the setup is up. So you can see like what you'll have is like a black, this would be black. If you want to put something colorful on top of it, you can. It's just to like, pull your booth together. And then these are, she has these panels that she hangs her little taxidermy felted cutie pies on there. And like Malagueta, she always sits in her booth and like is always sewing. She does really well. She makes really beautiful like patchwork clothing and houseware stuff. But she doesn't like have a mannequin. That's the word. A mannequin. Here's something that I would suggest. This is like my biggest no at Handmade arcade. If you're gonna have a sign of any kind, try and figure out a way to get it up. Because when you have it leaning against the table like this, nobody can see it and they don't realize that that's what you are, because like it's fine to have something here like that because people come to your table, but like if you have like on the floor leaning, like the framers market is great because they're stuff, but they come and frame stuff for us. Nobody can even find it because there's sign colors on the front. There's just something to think about. I mean, they like find them, but they like we're always getting asked. So I mean, like this is just like somebody who does crochet with like a real simple backdrop with a shelf they go out in the background. But you can see like these are just plant stands from home, and this is just like a small shelf. I think probably like from Target or something. So you can get inexpensive things. So like we always recommend layering your booth. Like if you can put like a box and a covering, and then like get things higher, like use your vertical space so people can see your stuff. Because when you just go on a flat table, people don't see it as much. This guy is. So this is something I usually give to professional makers. So like this is not, don't do this. Do not spend your money on something like this, but he's a beat maker, and so he has his characters and he printed a huge thing to be behind him because it made sense for his building and made his booth. So this is an example of how to sell a t-shirt. This is just PVC pipe that they built, like made a little stand. This is an example of a maker who I think like she makes beautiful stuff. She always puts way too much stuff up. Way too much. Like it is hard to like go into her booth and find stuff. So our recommendation for you is the less is more. Like if you've got 20 of the same t-shirt in different sizes, put 1 or 2 out. Don't put them all out because people can't like go through your stuff easily. So like, you know, think about that when you're thinking about your booth setup. What else? This is an example, just like, you know, somebody, so this person, this jewelry artist packs all their stuff in these crates, brings it in the crates, and then uses it for their setup. So I think that that's smart. And then this woven spectrum, she has crates. This is like, she just uses vertical space, and she has the crate that she brought. She's a knitter. She makes really fun hats. She just has like the stuff that she brought her things in underneath there, and then she puts like whatever she gave her space. And what I like about her is, I forget her name, she's the nicest lady in the world. I usually like that. She made gift boxes, which sold really well that year. She repackaged some gift boxes, which like, so when you're thinking about stuff, when you think about pricing, think about this as a holiday gift market. Like, think about things that people can buy for our kids. Like, think about, oh, if you're making tea towels, you're strings into your block running on tea towels, and you want to sell them each for $15, but then you want to sell 2 for 25, people think it's a deal, and then more likely to buy the 2 for 25, and then you get, you know, a little more money. And we'll talk to you about pricing. This is another artist who I think puts way too much out. She's really, really great stuff. But she also like people want to try on all her hats and things. Crochet. Sometimes crochet. Yes. Okay. So like you want to just like figure out a way to like display yourself so people can see like what it is that you're doing. Did you crochet sweater? Are you gonna do more of those? This is great. This is like a very minimal setup, like leather, which I like a lot. I think that like, she always sells really well because she does minimal setup, and then as she sells, she has that stuff underneath and puts it back up. But these are just like pretty cheap ribbons you can get like from Home Depot. But again, before you buy anything, check with me. Okay, so this is an example of a maker who these guys are everyday balloons. They started off. Remember my sad table in the beginning. Remember it was really sad. They started off like that, and then this is them now. They have a small store. They moved out somewhere in the middle of PA. They have a store there now. They're like, they bought a big piece of land. They're like living their best lives out, making stuff, and they're not actually doing it in their kid anymore because they're doing so well where they live. But that's just an example of like where you can go. You can start with your sad little Trisha table in the beginning, and in 10 years you can be there if you really, really want to do this. And I will say it today, and I will say it in 5 years, and I've been saying it for 5 years. The city of Pittsburgh is one of the greatest cities in the world to live in if you want to be an artist or a maker. Cost of living is low, the arts community support is high. We've got so many opportunities for funding and grants. There are so many foundations and so many places that give you money as an artist to support you. There are so many like places for small business learning. We work with an organization called the Creative Business Accelerator. They do all sorts of things like first week programming. They give money. They give grants. They get millions of dollars from the foundation community. Then they turn around and make the community. So if you are really dedicated and you really want this to be like part of your future, like let's have a private conversation about where we can help you go with that. Because the city of Pittsburgh is like, I have friends who do shows, who run shows. I'm part of a craft planner group. And I have friends who run shows in Detroit, in Akron, in Cleveland, in Philadelphia. We used to run shows in Cincinnati. I've met with people who run shows in Baltimore and DC. And the things that happen for me, maybe there's something about, I don't know if it's the colleges and the foundation community, but this is a really great city to learn how to do this and stay here. So this is like another example. So this is I'm gonna say this, and then you guys can hash it out. You can have like a newsmaker fight club and see who gets it. But I have this. So I have one of them. So if anyone thinks that they can use it, that like I have one old like boards and ladders. I love that. It's like my favorite. So I got it donated. Somebody maker doesn't want to do it anymore. He knows that I love that setup. So if anybody's interested in like using that for their setup, if you say you're gonna use it though, you don't do a good job using it, I'm gonna know, so. I mean, I'm gonna be like. But I like, we have that, and that's what I mean. We have mannequins for t-shirts, we have things like that you can use. Blah, 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 more stuff. This is just like, this is a core for the this maker box here. This is like another place we want to look, construction junction, creative reuse, and get like, they just put hinges on it, painted it, and then use it to hang their embroidery stuff. So, okay. So that's it. That's everything I have to talk to you about today. I'm talking. So I was like, great question. Do you feel nervous? You feel good? What are you feeling right now? Say your feelings. So like I said, like we want you to succeed. What else? Okay.
Yeah, it's really important to get a plan together, what you expect to have. And
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah, and like, not just like your expectations for yourself, but your expectations for us, like, let's have a mentor. So we're gonna assign you all to a professional mentor in the maker community. We have a list of mentors that we think we're going to assign you to. We're going to reach out to them this week, and many of them have done it in the past or have expressed interest in doing it, and they're great folks. They are a great resource. I think I set you up with mentors for their mentors because I think that makes the most sense for you because they know what to do. But that's okay. I mean, obviously, that seemed like you were okay with that. So like, and I think like I want to set up. Who is? Like, I think like. Well, I don't want to say who I want to switch because I haven't asked for that, but I know it's worth that. We've already talked about it. But like we have some makers who have been doing this a long time, who are a great resource. So when we set you up with your mentor, the way we'll do it, we'll do an introduction email. We'll give you like a little information about the mentor and who they are and what they make, and then we'll give the mentor. It'll be like, hi, Sam, I meet Trisha meets Sam, and they'll be like, Sam does this, and then Trisha does that, and then so you'll get to know a little bit about each other. It's gonna be on you guys. This is literally the thing. These are professional artists who are going into the busiest season of their year. So like it's on you to when they're going to be expecting you to make the first contact. So like you write them back, hey, thanks for agreeing to be my mentor. I'd love to get together to chat. What's best for you? Phone call, Zoom. Can I ask you? But if you don't want to do that, can I ask you a list of questions over email? But like this is a really great opportunity for you to meet, to like use somebody's knowledge, like boots on the ground the day of the event in a way that I'm not, because I don't sell anymore. I haven't for years, and I've never sold in a professional capacity. I've always done it as a hobby or a side gig. I've never done it as a team. So these are folks that are really, really going to have a lot more institutional knowledge in a way that I don't have. Sam is usually a mentor. Well, you can't do them. We pay our mentors, so it's not like you don't feel like you're bothering them. We have, we make sure that we pay the artists that we ask to help because we believe that their time is valuable. So it's not like you're funding them. They're getting, they've agreed to do it. They want to do it. Don't feel like we're compensating. So don't worry about that. That is something that we do with the mentors program. And then you can meet them the day of. We tend to invite them to the November meeting if they're able to come, so we can meet them in person. The October meeting, this is super important. I'm so glad I remembered to bring this up. Everybody needs to come to the October meeting in person, unless you really, really, really can't. And you need to come photo ready, because we're going to take your picture, unless you're thoroughly against it. And we're going to take pictures of your product. So like, we want to get your faces out there, and we're going to get your products out there. So bring some products and bring yourself to the October meeting. If you can't come home that weekend or whatever, we can figure something else out. But we want to, the reason we want to do that is because we're going to press release the Youth Maker program this year in a different way than we have in the past to try and get some youth facing and parent facing and like young folk facing, like places to cover it, like Pittsburgh often writes about our youth makers. Like I said, I'm going to try to get some of you, if anyone is willing to go on the radio and talk about Handmade Arcade and what it is you're making. We've had youth makers go, and it can be a call in to the Saturday Light Brigade. They broadcast on Saturday mornings out of the Children's Museum. The Remake Learning Network will probably cover us and share that out with all of like the educators that they work with in the city. So we really, and it's really, and we'll do blogs and emails, and we really hype the Youth Maker program. And, you know, we've had youth makers like do really, really well. Jasmine Bates is, her business is Kenneth Duncan. She started 13-year-old youth maker. She's now 16 or 17. She was at the night market I did last night downtown. She's like a phenom. She's like this amazing, smart, young entrepreneur, super like well known. She's done a TED talk. About her business. She's gonna be, I'm gonna ask her to be a mentor. One of you lucky kids. Didn't say that, I guess. I always get you out of kids. I'm gonna ask her to be a mentor. So she's great. She's just like super, super smart. I might ask her to come to the next meeting as well, because she's been through this program and she can talk to you more on like a level of like what it's been like for her as a young maker to do the event. Yeah. Questions, comments? Parents can ask questions, guardians can ask questions.
If I could come up with a question, like, you know,
Yeah, that's a great question, Sam. If you can come and you think of something later, send it to me and to Val. Because while Val is away this weekend, she is really going to be your contact person. Her email is the Simon's granddaughter email at AOL.com. It's been CC. So if you send an email and send it to both of us, eventually it's Val's going to be the only one communicating with you. I'll still be at all of the meetings and I will still be typing. I can't stay quiet, so I'll still be interjecting. The next meeting, we're going to do photographs. We're going to dig a little more deeply into like merchandising and concepts of these stuff, like more detail. I'll probably bring some display items to bring some products so we can see what you're doing. And like start thinking about what you might need for the display, and like, you know, put together maybe like a wish list of things, and you can see what we have and what I can get. Because the opportunity to get stuff from the artisans for free is like really exciting. So we might have, you know, a lot of opportunity there. Yeah. And start doing research into the sooner you look, let's look at this again. The sooner you look at the materials order form and you start filling that out and then coming up with what you want, the better you'll be. The sooner you can get the materials to you, the better. The faster, the better. In fact, I will bring this blanks to the October meeting, but if I know, like if you send in your material orders form and you say you're going to order X, Y, or Z, and I know I have it, I'll let you know so that you don't pay for it. And we'll have everything shipped right to you, like I said. So I think it's really important to start like sourcing your materials, start thinking about what you need, start planning, and I'll send the account. I just didn't have time to get the calendars ready to give to you to like start filling them out because of this market that I got myself broke into last night, but I would never do it. So, yeah, so we'll just start thinking about that, and Val's gonna email everybody next week to check in and see how you're doing, if you get a question, and if you think of anything in the next, couple of days. I'm sorry, that's not much. That's all. That's the only thing I can do. So me energized myself. I can't hear any other words. All right. I hope I haven't freaked you out with my exuberance this morning. I hope you're excited. We're excited. Yes. Yes. Okay, so you guys don't need to do that because you're part of the Youth Maker program. You don't need to worry unless you want to. And if you want to, we can talk through that separately. You do not need to like register your business. You do not need to have insurance. You're covered under the Handmade or paid event insurance. You're part of like that. We don't have to worry about that. Individual makers have to, the adult, like, you know, the professional makers, they all carry business insurance for their, you know, it's when you do this professionally, you want to carry business insurance if something goes wrong, so you can cover yourself. But you do not need to do that for this event. You're covered under our policy. You don't need to worry about that at all. But that's a great question. And if you're gonna start doing shows though, if you're gonna like, after this, if you want to start doing shows, you're definitely going to need that. A lot of shows, like last night, for example, we did this night market downtown in Market Square. And Handmade or Paid doesn't ask vendors to provide us with proof of insurance for our big event. We just tell you, you have to have it. There's like no way, I'm the only employee. There's really no way for me to like, it's like a trust, you know, face. So I just have to trust that the makers have insurance. We have a huge insurance policy for the event that we have to get, so it's not a big deal. I mean, it is a big deal, you have to have it, but if you start doing individual markets, like the night market last night, you would have had to provide proof of insurance. You would have had to name the city of Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh Downtown Partnership, because they were giving us the space for free. So like, it's a little bit different for other events, but for this big number. Anybody else?
I have a question.
Oh, yes.
Actually, I have two questions. First, how do we find the material orders form?
It should have come in an email yesterday that was sent with
Okay.
the permission slip stuff. And look at your spam, if it's not there, message me and I'll send it again.
Okay. Also, I would like to know, how do people usually display like 2D art?
In racks. Send me an email immediately upon hanging up with that same question and I'll send you some pictures.
Okay.
Okay, I know exactly who to send you. I know exactly some artists' pictures that I have. I'll probably do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna catch up on some things tomorrow, but I have some pictures. There's racks, there's ways, like I'll send you a whole list of
Yeah.
things that will be helpful for you. And we should have able to get some racks from the artsmiths. I'm pretty sure they've got racks downstairs. They have 2D art in their basement, so that should be not a problem at all.
Sounds good.
Okay. Did you have any questions, Taylor?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna work on our budget. Oh, I have something else I forgot. These meetings never end. Think about your sales pitch. Like, think about what you're gonna say. This is like, Val's gonna talk to you about this next time. She's gonna have you do like some prompts and she's gonna send it to you in an email. But like, just start thinking of, like, it's really important to like, almost like in a real cheesy way, rehearse what you're gonna say to people when they come up to your table. Because it doesn't come naturally. So I always give this example when I do new maker meetings. My mother's a high school Spanish teacher. She's loud. I am my mother. She's loud, she's obnoxious, she's in your face, she's aggressive. She's a high school teacher. For years when I was running this event, I was like, Mom, will you sell my table for me? You're like really a good people person. You're really good at talking to people. You're really great at this. I was a terrible salesperson. She's the worst. She was nervous. She didn't know what to say. She never sold anything for me. I couldn't believe it. So finally I fired her and I had my best friend do my table whenever I started to play. I realized like 2 years in a row, I didn't sell anything until I like calmed down and went back to my table around like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's because my mom was like just nervous. So like it's because it's hard. So think about what you're going to talk to people about. Think about how you're going to present yourself. Make sure to have somebody there with you who can help you. Make sure you're able to talk about your art. It's just hard. So the more you think about what you're going to say ahead of time, the easier it becomes. And then by the end of the day, hopefully you'll like get into a rhythm. Like if you spend a day with me at a Handmade arcade booth, you'll be like, wow, she's like a robot on repeat. She says the same thing over and you've heard it. She says the same thing over and over again, but different people. They will. Yeah. Yeah, and we definitely have water. I definitely have like names of halls. I always have halls in my pocket at these events because my foot gets sore from talking so much. So, and also just FYI, we're gonna just so you don't have to. Masks are completely optional at the event. It is harder. It is hard to talk in a mask on all day. Just so from a safety perspective, the convention center is like really well ventilated. The room we're in is huge. It is like huge ceilings. It's got a great airflow, and we are controlling the crowd in the same way we did last year. Whereas in the past, we would just, the doors would open at 11 o'clock and it would be like an insane amount of people would come in. Last year we did pre-timed tickets, so you had to sign up for a time slot to enter. So it kind of kept the crowd steady all day long, and it avoided that huge surge of people in the beginning, which is actually kind of really stressful because they're like, oh, it's all extended at once. So we decided to keep it to minimize the crowd in a way. And like, I'll probably, I don't know. Yeah, I think about it. Like I might wear a mask that week because I usually get sick and handmade anyway, just because I'm like running for like 48 hours straight. By the end, I'm usually just like exhausted. So like, you know, whatever you're comfortable with, but we have thought about it, and there are precautions, and the convention center is a green building. It's like really, they've got like hospital grade air filters and things like that in there. So like, you know, just do what's best for you, obviously, but just so you know that we do think about that, but we're not going to make masks required this year unless we go into some, we made them required last year, but unless something, you know, catastrophic happens again, we're not going to enforce that. All right, go home, get out. All right, everybody, I hope this was informative. I hope this was helpful. I hope you feel comfortable. I hope you know you can like message us. You know, depending on the question, I may or may not I may forward your email to somebody who may be able to answer it better in our committee. Okay, Veronica and Taylor, I'm going to sign off. So thank you guys for tuning in, and try to come to the October meeting so we can do the pictures. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right, bye guys. I'm gonna turn this off.